What's up, Bookie Crushers? Today I have 4 more MLB picks for you for Friday, August 8th, including a couple at positive odds and a couple at negative odds, so we have a good mix. So let's start by recapping the recent action. So the last time I talked to you was Wednesday. At that time, I presented 4 MLB predictions and we only won one of them, which was the Royals first half money line at plus 110 odds, whereas the other 3 were losers. So that means that on that day, a person risking $100 per play undergone a loss of $190. Now, if we accumulate what I've presented this week, the free picks have generated 5 wins, 6 losses, and 1 push. So in total, we have lost $176. I really need to do better than this, and I hope that we're going to bounce back on Friday. In prior weeks, we enjoyed great profit, but we are now in danger of suffering some losses this week. Now, what about the premium picks that I share at mjpicks.com? So those are plays that are all rated 5 stars out of 5. So far this week, as you can see in the top right corner, we have accumulated 11 wins versus 7 losses for a profit of 1.86 units. So it's not as great as the prior week, where we had a 26-5-1 record for a gain of 17.99 units, but we are still in the black so far this week, so profit is profit, as I often say. All right, so now let's move on with my first selection for Friday, August 8th, and I am betting the Miami versus Atlanta game, and in this case, I am supporting the Atlanta Braves money line at plus 110 odds, or 2.10 in decimal, and this is viewed as a 2-star play out of 5, which means I believe the ROI is slightly positive. All right, so this is the second game of a 4-game series, and in game number 1, Miami jumped to an early 6-2 lead before collapsing for an 8-6 defeat. So that brings me to a betting system called the comeback, which goes like this. Bet any team that meets the following 3 criteria. Number 1, they came back from a deficit of 4+ runs in their last game. Number 2, they must be facing the same rival again. And number 3, they must not be big favorites today, because historical data has shown that this strategy does not work well with big favorites. All right, so in the current case, I just told you how Miami led by a 4-run margin before losing the game. These two squads are battling each other once again, and Atlanta is not a big favorite. So we have the green light to proceed to bet the Atlanta Braves, and that is my first selection for today. By the way, this betting angle has generated good gains over many years, but it has not been so kind to us recently. Last season, we suffered slight losses of -0.5 unit, and this year so far, we have lost 2.76 units. So I'm always tracking the performance of my systems by pretending as if we are risking 1 unit per play. Now, I have decided to grade it lower due to the pitching duel. Well, Bryce Elder appeared to have a bright future ahead of him after 2 solid seasons in 2022 and 2023, but it has gone south very quickly. He picked up a 6.52 ERA last year, and so far this season he owns a poor 6.03 ERA. And in both cases, he posted a whip stat above 1.55, which is awful. It shows that there has been a lot of traffic on the bases when he has been on the mound. Now his counterpart will be Edward Cabrera, whose career is headed in a completely different direction. He appears to be in the prime of his career. After posting a 4.24 and 4.95 ERA in prior years, this season it sits at a pretty 3.24, so that is a good full point below his prior years. But still, I am siding with the Braves here. Miami has dropped 3 of its past 4 games, and yesterday's loss was probably very deflating to them. Their confidence level will be low, and they are also on the road, and we are also getting positive odds on the Braves, so I feel like there is a little bit of value on Atlanta. I feel like they have a 50-50 chance of winning this game, so given the positive odds, that generates a ROI which is slightly positive for us. So this is my first selection for today. Up next, I would like to formulate a prediction regarding the great Mets versus Brewers game, and in this match, I am taking the Brewers money line at minus 140 odds. So obviously, this should be a cracking contest between two pitchers who are in top form. So we have Kodai Senga against Brendan Woodruff. Despite some injuries, Senga has impressed the Mets organization since making the move from Japan. He owns a wonderful 2.31 ERA this season, but he has looked a little out of sorts lately. Let's take a look at his last 4 outings, in which he lasted a total of 16 innings on the mound. He has given up 11 runs, 17 hits, and also an alarming 13 walks. What the heck is going on? He has had some command issues lately for sure. Now, the vast majority of hurlers who miss a long period of time due to injuries, they tend to struggle a lot upon their return. See Sandy Alcantara, for instance, but not Brendan Woodruff. He missed the entire 2024 season, and he also missed the first half of the current season, and yet he has posted some very solid numbers so far, an eye-popping 2.22 ERA and a 0.64 whip stat, which is fantastic. Now, the Mets have dropped 8 of their past 9, whereas Milwaukee is flying high by winning 9 of its past 10 contests overall. Also, the Brew Crew has been rock solid at home, as evidenced by his 36-20 record, whereas New York has been reeling on the road. Also, the Brewers fit under a betting system that I value a lot, which is called the Big Upset number 2. Let me present its rules to you. Fade any team that lost its previous game to a team whose money line was greater than plus 150. They must be facing a different squad, and they must be underdogs today. Now, in the current case, let's focus on the New York Mets. All right, so on August 6th, they lost 4-1 against Cleveland, and in that game, the Guardians' money line was plus 157. So as you can see, the Mets did lose their last match to a team whose money line was quite big. And now they're facing a different opponent, and they are underdogs. So by following those rules, we must fade the Mets, and that explains the Brewers pick. And by the way, this betting strategy has posted a 9-7 record this year, and in terms of profit, it is pretty much breaking even. All right, so let's take a very quick break, and let me show you my youngest son, Jay, who scored a goal in his last deck hockey game last Tuesday. Let's go! Whew, that goal was not easy to score. He needed to take 3 rebounds before finally putting the ball in the back of the net. So good job, Jay, for this nice goal. All right, let's continue with my third MLB pick for August 8th, and I'm taking a shot with a bet whose odds are plus 125. I'm taking the Padres run line. So that means they must win the game by a margin of at least 2 runs for this bet to be declared a winner. And I like it so much that it is graded 4 stars out of 5. It is not quite viewed as a premium pick, but I like it quite a bit. Well, it looks like the Padres are simply not going away as they attempt to win the NL West division. Right now, they are only 2 games behind the LA Dodgers. And meanwhile, the Red Sox came out of nowhere to challenge for the AL East division. They have won 10 of their past 13, They are now in the second spot with 4 games behind the Blue Jays. Sorry. Now, San Diego holds a strong advantage in the pitching department. Nick Pivetta is having his best season to date with a 2.73 ERA. He also has the added incentive of facing his old club, who discarded him at the end of last season. That is a big key in this match, and that's why I like this pick so much. The Red Sox will counter with Walker Buehler, who is in his first year with Boston, and his first year is not going well at all. It looks like the Dodgers made the right decision to let him go, given his lackluster performances in 2025. In fact, his ERA this year is 5.74, and he owns a very poor 1.64 whip stat. It doesn't get any worse than this. Now, one of my only sources of concern in this match is the fact that Buehler owns a fantastic 6-1 career record against the Padres in 12 starts, including a superb 1.80 ERA. Now, we also have the snapped winning streak betting system that is supporting the Padres selection. Its rules are very simple, as you're about to find out. It recommends betting against the road club if they lost their last game after winning at least 5 in a row. Now, in the current case, Boston won 7 straight games before losing 7-3 against Kansas City a couple of days ago. So by following the rules of the snapped winning streak betting strategy, we must fade Boston, and that's why I am opting for the Padres. Now you may be wondering why I'm taking the run line instead of the money line. Well, I feel like they could crush Boston in this match, and I wanted to get a bigger payout. I know it is more risky. Maybe San Diego will end up winning the game by a 1-run margin, and I will feel stupid, but I'm going to take a chance on this bet for today. All right, now it's time for a fourth pick, and it features a great Blue Jays versus Dodgers game, and this time I am betting the Dodgers money line, and this is also graded 4 stars out of 5. Now, one of the biggest questions right now is whether the Blue Jays are pretenders or contenders. Now, their 3-game series against the Dodgers will go a long way to answering this vital question. Sure, Toronto looked fantastic in their last series by putting 45 runs on the board in 3 games. But that was against the laughingstock of the entire league, the Colorado Rockies, and also the game was played at the super hitter-friendly Coors Field. But prior to that series, the Blue Jays started to look like a shaky team as they had lost 6 of 8, including losing 3 of 4 to the lowly Baltimore Orioles and also losing 2 out of 3 against a below-average KC Royals team. Now, I have to admit that the Dodgers are not necessarily in top form lately, but I still trust them more to win the game tonight. We have a couple of Hall of Famers taking the mound tonight. They will be battling each other. And to me, Clayton Kershaw appears to have more left in the tank than Max Scherzer. So ultimately, I've decided to go with the Dodgers to win this game outright. All right, so by the way, in case you are not aware of it yet, I have posted several days ago a video presenting super early Week 1 NFL picks. So I invite you to watch this video by clicking the little card appearing on the bottom of your screen right now. And let me wrap up this video by showing you some fireworks that my family and I went to watch last night at Levy. Enjoy, my friend. Have a great weekend.